This is you at the U.S. Open. This is you. Good serious motion.
I know what it's like to be overlooked as a woman, as a black woman, but I never let anyone define my potential by my gender or my color. It doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, your age, you can achieve anything that you set your mind to. And I always say, if I can do it, anyone can do it.
Arguably the greatest tennis player ever, Serena Williams and her 10 rules of greatness.
When I look back on the path it took me to get where I am today, I think about the little girl with a big dream of the future, and so many ways I had no concept of what I was aiming for, but I knew in my heart and I trusted in my instincts. My goal started out, as you might think, for me it was a big goal, but my goal started out as a little girl was to win the US Open. And just one. And that was a big goal for me from a girl from Compton. So at the tender age of 3, I began my journey. I was blinded by passion as I practiced in Compton, and all those years later, one thing always remained the same. Once you set your goals, always aim higher. I have to tell each and every one of you that it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, your age, you can achieve anything that you set your mind to. And I always say, if I can do it, anyone can do it. And the reason that I always say that, because I didn't grow up with things being handed to me. I had to work hard, I had to dedicate myself, and I had to be determined, and I was. Even outside of sport, it could be education, it could be business, it could be anything. It requires discipline and hard work and determination. And most importantly, it requires self-belief, because like me, some people might not believe in you, but you have to believe in you. And sometimes you're going to be your own cheerleader, and you have to be your biggest and your best cheerleader. So to all you young athletes, take that to heart and never stop believing in yourself, and really always support who you are. Winning for me is super addictive. I feel like once you experience it, you always want to get that feeling again. And when I won my first championship, I was only 17 years old, but I never forgot that feeling. And I feel like every time I win one, I want to reach that feeling of your first championship. Winning is just a wonderful experience. I love that feeling.
That's great tennis from both.
Honestly, I think sometimes it's innate mentally, like you have to really prepare yourself. You know, like I'm just mentally really tough. Physically, anyone can do it. You can go to the gym, you can work out really hard, and you can prepare yourself and be in the most tip-top, best shape that you can be. But mentally, personally, I think tennis is most 60% mental and the rest is physical. I always wanted to be the best, and I said, if you want to be the best, you got to emulate the best. So when I started to go on tour when I was really young, I would see Steffi Graf, I would see Monica Seles, and I would even see Peeps, and I would see what they did. And I noticed that Steffi and Monica didn't really talk to a lot of the other players, and they kind of were on their own, and they were just so focused. And I would see that Pete Sampras, the technique that he did, and I was like, I want to do that. So I did that, and I felt like to be the best, if you want to be the best, you have to hang around people and you have to look at people that are the best, because you're not going to be the best if you're looking at someone that's not at the top level. It's hard because as women, you know, if you do want a family, you can't always put yourself first, and I think women in general, we tend to put ourselves always not first, second, or third. And it's when you have a kid, it's like you don't really even show yourself enough self-care and love. So I know I don't. I'm really bad at it. So, but at the same time, I'm so happy. Like I really want my daughter and my family to be ahead of me. And but yeah, it's interesting how just women think, and I like that we think that way, and I think that's what makes us special. I can tell you, I know what it's like to be overlooked as a woman, as a black woman, but I never let anyone define my potential by my gender or my color. I continue to raise my voice in hopes of breaking barriers and making it easier for those coming up after me. And one thing that I truly, truly believe in is that the success does not define a person. It's how successful you can be after you fall. A lot of people that truly inspire me are those not who are wildly successful, but those who are wildly successful after they fell and then they came back to be super successful again. And that's what, for me, fuels a successful brand and a person. One thing I love about tennis is being out there, and it's the one time I don't want to hear anyone tell me anything, and you have to problem solve. And honestly, I feel like it's helped me a lot in my life. You know, a lot of things that I go through in my life personally and also in business, you have to be able to problem solve. And one thing about tennis, I feel like sometimes when I'm out there, I have a split second, nanosecond to make a decision that could change the whole match and the whole tournament. And I've really applied that into a lot of things into my life. And that's my moment of, I know it sounds weird, but it's like my moment of peace when I'm out on the court, where I don't hear anyone and I don't need it, and I just try to problem solve on myself. I always felt like an underdog. I was really small for my age, and I was Venus Williams' younger sister. I always felt like I was just fighting to make it. I never felt I would be great one day. Training every day for 30 years is difficult. Then I also think someone is out there working really hard, and there's a poster on their wall of me, and they're working to beat me. With that, I get up, I go. Every day I'm sore, but that's the life I chose. So there's obviously days I don't feel like training, but there's no day that goes by that I feel like losing. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into the daybreak that's wonderfully clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I rise. I am the dream and the hope of a slave, I rise. For all you guys out there that want to do something and want to be the best that you can be and want to do the best that you can do, you just never give up, because you never know what can happen. You never know who you can inspire and who you can influence. So I'm so honored.
Hopefully, you've listened to Serena Williams and learned a lot, and how you can apply some of these rules to your life to achieve your dreams, your goals. Write in the comments below what your goals are and how you're going to implement some of these rules in your life to accomplish them. Here's to your success.